We're back for another Carpe Diem moment, Carpe Diem Live. It is Tuesday, December 4th. If you're watching this live, if you're watching a replay, it could be, I should say Tuesday, December 4th, 2018. If you're watching a replay of this, it could be Monday, October 21, 2048. Wouldn't that be something? Anyways, I appreciate you being here. I'm just going to share this on my other pages really quick. Why don't you say hello and tell me, let's see what the temperature is where you are. It looks like it's about ready to rain here right now. So say hello, let me know where you're logging in from and what the current temperature is wherever you are. And I'm just going to share this on my other pages really fast too. Just logging in, say hello, where you're logging in from, and what the current temperature is where you are. And we'll be getting started here in about 29 and a half seconds. So if you need to go pee really quick, now's the time. Hey, Charity, good to see you on here. Share to a page. And just one more real fast, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you for being patient. So be sure to log in, say hello where you're logging in from, and what your current temperature is wherever you are. I think that's it. Awesome. All right, let's dive into this. Good to see everybody on here. What I want to talk to you about today is "'Tis the Season to Never Give Up" is the title of today's video. And hey, Jeff, good to see you on here. Kingman, Arizona, 46 degrees, 34 and snowing in Highland, Illinois. That sounds a little chilly. It's not quite that cold here. It's just getting ready to rain. I had a really cool last week or so, and I wanted to share a little bit with you because I think it's a great story to consider. Now, before we do that, I want to give you a little context of it. I grew up in a very small town. It was when I lived there, this was a town of maybe 8,000 people. There was, I think, 2 total stoplights. My high school that I went to high school with, I remember as a freshman, we had the largest freshman class they'd ever had at that point. It was like 360 some students or something to that effect. And I think there was just over 200 of us graduated, because that many people, and you do the math on it, that's like a 30% attrition rate, dropped out, gave up, went into the marijuana business, got too heavy into drugs, whatever the case may be. There weren't a lot of people that went on to university or school after that. I was one of the few that went to a UC, the University of California system. I think there was 8 of us, and of those original 8, maybe 4 stuck with it after the first part of the year. I grew up fairly poor. I remember routinely my parents would have me as a little kid walk up and deliver the rent check when it was 2, 3, 4 weeks or longer late, because I think part of them believed that, well, 1, they were embarrassed that they couldn't pay the rent on time, and 2, that the landlords would be less likely to evict us if it was a little kid going up, reminding them that there was a family there and not just adults who weren't paying. And so I learned early on kind of this, I don't know, almost shame around money. And I carried that with me for very long. When I moved away to university, I was shy, insecure. I mean, I was literally the kid that I was so shy, so insecure that I remember one time in my psychology class, a girl tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around. I skipped red and went straight to purple. I was so shy, so insecure, so self-conscious that the idea that somebody would even want to talk to me, because at the time, my daily routine, my daily monologue with myself used to be standing in front of the mirror, telling myself how much I hated myself, what a waste of space I was, how I was God's mistake. And the reason I would do this is because I had learned such shame around money that I felt guilty for my parents' financial problems. I began to believe that the reason they had these problems was because they had me, and that now all the money that they had worked out that they were having to spend on taking care of me and my brother was putting a financial burden on them. I tried to commit suicide when I was a very young child, probably 8, 9 years old, because I felt so much guilt over this. And that's where I started to develop these belief systems, this really negative attitude about myself. And I mean it when I say it. And that was my daily, every single day. You're worthless. You're a waste of space. You're all these types of things. And I don't want to get too much into that right now, because that's not the moral of the story. We'll save that more for another story. But I would go through this on and on each and every day. And then what ended up happening is from that, I started to work on myself. I started to develop and grow. I hired coaches. I started to read more books. I started to believe in myself. I started to take chances. And I had this goal, this dream to be able to help other people change their lives as I had mine. I had this goal, I had this dream to be able to help other people enhance the quality of their life as I had mine. I had these goals, I had these dreams to reach more people, to help more people, to be able to communicate and work with more people. And there was times where I thought I was absolutely nuts for doing what I was doing and working the hours I was working and trying to put things together like I was. I mean, I was just, I didn't know what I was doing or any of those types of things, but I just did it from the belief in my heart that if I put it out there, it would reach the people it needed to reach. It would help who it needed to help. And I just kept doing it. I just kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept pushing myself and challenging myself. Many of you were around to see the 1 Year 1000 challenge. I've shared very openly with you about some of the hardships I've faced in life since then. A close friend's suicide, the death of my father, my best friend getting killed, numerous deaths that I've gone through in these last several years, heartbreaks and whatnot, ups and downs. And I try to share as transparent as I do with you all, because it's not to say, hey, look at me, but it's to say, hey, I've been through this. I recognize your journey. I've traveled the road that perhaps you're traveling on right now, or the road that you're just starting on, or the road that you've been traveling yourself, or that somebody you know is traveling. I can relate, I can understand, I can empathize. And I can also confidently tell you that if I can walk that path, and growing up in small town Fortuna, being the little kid carrying the rent check up the road, hanging his head in shame, that you can do it too. The reason I said this last week was really cool, because in this last week I did an interview with somebody in New York. I got invited to speak at a conference in Aruba. I met with clients in England, in New Jersey, in Nevada, in Florida, in Germany, in various parts of the world. And I have a call with somebody in Australia tomorrow. And so it's become this really cool global thing, and I'm able to connect and talk with people from all over the world and help them with their lives, and lead and live higher quality lives and create higher quality, real fulfillment in life. And the reason I can do that now is because I never gave up on my dreams. See, this is a time of year where so many people start to say, I'll wait till tomorrow. Oh, I'll wait till later on. I'll do it next year. In 2019, it'll be my year I finally do these things. And odds are, if you're saying in 2019, you probably said that about 2018, 17, 16, and so on. See, your dreams aren't promised to you. They're not guaranteed. And I can tell you that wherever you are in life right now, you are able to overcome, and you are able to go after and create your dreams, but you have to work for them. You have to bust your ass for them. And you sure as hell can't treat them as something where you can put them off and put them aside and then come back to them. I have literally worked towards mine almost every single day, if not every single day, for probably, I don't even know how long now. And there have been so many times during that time where I thought, gosh, what is the point of this? This is scary. This is uncomfortable. This is stressful. I can't afford to do this. I'm going to go nuts doing this. You can imagine the dialogue that went through. What in the hell am I thinking? This is crazy. I'm not as talented as Tony Robbins. I don't have the vocal ability of a great orator or anything like that. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. All those kinds of things that have traveled through this space between these 2 years. But the thing that's always helped propel me forward is not listening what goes on in here, but honoring the small voice that I'll hear in here. And I say small voice because sometimes all of you know that when these voices really get chatty, it can make this voice seem very small and very diminutive. But if you tune into it and listen and honor it, it will often lead you to where you need to go. I would not be here in front of all of you right now if I had said, you know what, this isn't working for me. I need to give up. There's so many temptations and low dangling fruit and carrots to chase after right now that can be a distraction for you, that can get you to put your dreams on the shelf and then get you to focus in on somebody else's. To get you to put your dreams on the shelf and think, yeah, you were stupid to even try, or you weren't deserving of it, or you would never get there, and focus in on what somebody else is, the narrative that somebody else puts in front of you, the narrative that somebody else lays out for you. Life is too short to live that way, and your dreams are too precious and too valuable to settle for anything less. You may find yourself right now in the season where you're contemplating a career change. And the idea of shifting from where you are now to going into a new career might seem absolutely crazy. It might seem ludicrous. And if you talk to close friends and family members, they might say you're nuts to do that, to walk away from some sense of security, go for something different. But if it's on your heart, I will tell you from working with thousands of people from all over the world, the ones who follow their heart always end up fulfilled. The ones who don't and listen to everyone else, they end up always wondering, well, what if? What could have been? You got to make that shift. If you're in the season where you're thinking, how can I bring my relationship to the new level? Can I change it up? Can I make my relationship more meaningful, more fulfilling? The answer is yes, you can, but you got to do the work. You have to have the deep conversations. You have to have the hard conversations. You have to be willing to dig through the layers of hurt that might be there and get to the core of what brought you together in the first place, which is love. And, sometimes to get back to that core and release the hurt, that can be a challenge to the ego. It can be a blow to the ego. Most of us don't like being wrong, and most of us don't like to admit somebody else is right. But you remember, relationships, you didn't get in a relationship to be right or wrong. You got in a relationship to love. And so you have to pull back those layers. If this is the time of year where you're really starting to think about your health, here in the US, the average person gains something like 15 pounds between Thanksgiving, which is the end of November, and the end of the year. That's absolutely nuts. 15 pounds in a country where heart disease is our leading cause of death. If you combine everything together, gun violence, cancer, and everything else, heart disease trumps them time and time again. And 90% of heart disease is self-inflicted from the stuff we put in our body and the unwillingness to move. And so you might be at the point where you're saying, I really need to make a change for myself right now. I got to do it. I have this goal to get in better shape. I have this goal to walk more, this goal to lose weight. But somebody might tell you, hey, that's a great goal, but let's wait until 2019. Right now, let's party. Let's enjoy the holidays. Let's eat the cheese. Let's have the extra beer, whatever that is. And I'm all for having a good time, but do it in context. If your goal, your dream is to have better health because you want to be around for your children, you want to be around for your grandchildren, you want to enjoy a higher quality of life, you got to put the fucking cheese away, put the beer down, and go after that. Because nobody else is going to walk around in your skin but you. Right? If you're at a time in your journey where you're saying, I want to go after what really matters most to me. I'm sick and tired of waking up feeling sick and tired. I want to feel fulfilled. Or if you're at a point in your journey where things are good, but you want to go for great, you have to start raising your standards for that and identify what great is for you. Get your people, surround yourself with people who are going to help support you in realizing that dream, that vision, and pull yourself away from the people who are going to talk you out of it. I was talking with a client the other day about doing a cleanse, and they were saying what a challenge it is sometimes to go to happy hour with people because, it might make people uncomfortable drinking. And what I was telling them, the feedback I was giving is just, own the excitement you have about your health, and there will be no uncomfortableness. See, sometimes when we start to make these pursuits of our dreams, it can feel a little uncomfortable. It can feel a little intimidating because how are the people we've always spent time with going to receive it, right? They start hanging out with us for this reason, but all of a sudden, if we start to be this person instead of this person, who are we to them? Here's the big thing with this. If they really want to love you for you and understand you with you and connect with you for you, they're going to be on board and supporting you with your dreams. And if they aren't, guess what? There's going to be someone out there who will, and somebody who will. But nobody ever will, and nobody will ever take your dreams seriously until you take them seriously. This is a time of year where so many people give up. So many people say the hell with it. So many people say, I will start in 2019. There is still 26, 27 and a half days left in 19, or in 18 rather. You can build a hell of a foundation and start the year with some fantastic momentum going into that. I've started coaching programs with several new people in the last week, and I'm so proud of these people because they're people who are saying, you know what, there's 12 months in the year, and I'm committed to living and thriving and fulfilling and maximizing all 12 months. I'm not going to cut out December and say, oh, the hell with it, I'll do it in 2019. They're going for it now. When everybody else gives up, this is the time that you should get going. Your competition's lesson. You want to start a fitness program, there's less people in the gym. You want to start a business, there's less people putting in the time, soliciting resources. You want to work on your relationship, all those types of things. There is no better time than right now. And I'm not just telling you this as Jesse Brisendine, life coach, speaker, the guy who's been able to, had a book published, who's been able to travel around the world, who's been able to work with thousands of people on multiple continents and a bunch of different countries, and had these cool things this week about working with clients in Germany and England and Australia, and getting invited to a conference over in Aruba, and so on and so forth. I'm not just telling you as that guy. I'm telling you as Jesse Brisendine, the kid who grew up in a small town, who used to walk up the road carrying the late rent check, hanging his head in shame. I'm telling you as Jesse Brisendine, the kid who thought about taking his own life and attempted it because he felt so much guilt for his parents' situation. I'm telling you this as Jesse Brisendine, the kid who used to be so shy, so insecure, so self-conscious that a tap on the shoulder caused him to go from skip red and go straight to purple. I'm telling you as the guy who used to spend 10 to 15 minutes a minimum a day looking in the mirror, telling himself how awful he was, how worthless he was, what a waste of space he was, and just not believing himself at all. I'm telling you as a person who literally used to walk down hanging his head because he was terrified if he ever made eye contact with another human being, he'd have to look at them in the eyes and see the horrible person that they saw, that he already knew he already believed he was. Nobody is going to make your dreams happen but you. Now, there will be people out there who support you, but this is the season. This is your season. And this time is your time right now. If you're serious about getting your dreams and making them come true, this is where you put the pedal to the metal. This is not where you ease up and hit the brake. This is where you keep pushing forward, because I promise you this. If you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to stick with it, and if you're willing to be persistent, consistent, and if you're willing to surround yourself with the people that can help you make it happen, you will. You absolutely will, because if I can, so can you. And I know that sounds cliche to hear it, because you've heard a lot of people say that and whatnot. And I share part of my story with you because I want you to know that this wasn't just something where I popped up on your screen one day and that was that. This is something that's a daily process. It's a daily work, but it's worth it. I show up on these lives because my hope and my belief, I choose to believe is that this is going to reach the right person at the right time. The person who needs it, who can take away a little nugget of this or use it to apply and help them get from where they are to where they want to be. This is going to connect with the person who needs to see it, who's been maybe thinking about reaching out to me for a while to get some help, to get some support on their journey. And that they say, you know what, this is the time. This is the one, this is me. I connect with this guy. Or that you're on there and you say, I don't like this guy. He's a little too out there, whatever it is. But, it's inspired me enough to look for someone who can be a mentor, who can be a coach. I do these lives because I believe in all my heart that if you keep showing up to them, you show up to them because you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to enhance your life, and that you're here for that reason. And if I can inspire you to take that action, if I can compel you to take that action, if I can motivate you to take that action today, that's going to help you go after your dreams and to not give up like everybody else will, then I've done my job and I can pat myself on the back. So really quick, I have to jump off here. I'll read through a few comments. I have a call I have to jump on. I'm going to put a link up here. I have 2 spots left in my calendar for a consultation with me. If you have never met with me before and you want to talk about how implementing coaching and utilizing coaching can really help you enhance your life now, going into 2019, I would love to meet with you. There's only 2 spaces left on my calendar for this week, and I would love for you to have one of them. If for some reason you click the link and you can't find a spot, just message me. We'll find a spot we'll open up some other times or find a spot for next week, but I'm only giving 2 of these slots away to 2 of you. So this is going to be the first come, first to take action. If you're someone who is wanting to work on your dreams, you're resolute and not giving up, and this has resonated with you, I encourage you to take action. If you've been following me for a while, you've listened to me for a while, you're on board with me, you trust what I got going on, I think this would be a really great time for you to dive into yourself. 'Tis the season. Most people are giving up. It's time for you to dig in and push forward. So I'm going to throw this link up here right now. And then I'm going to just read through a couple comments. I don't have time for questions today because I do have to jump on a call. But if you do have questions about this, you can go ahead and post them in the comments or send me a message, and I will respond back to you right away. Or not right away, after this call. I believe you receive. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Sherry. If you believe you receive. I've been working towards 2008 since my dreams, and little by little I'm achieving them. I love that. That's so awesome. I've overcome depression. It's a battle between yourself. Yeah, it totally has been. I love that you said that. Hey, Matt, what's going on, buddy? My sister and I just had this conversation yesterday about waking up in a different frame of mind. It's up to us to change. Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Today was the start. Congratulations, Maria. I'm certainly not sorry I ever felt like that. I'm extremely grateful for it, because if I hadn't have had that, I wouldn't be here right now. Do you work on physical improvement or just emotional? I work on mindset, heart set. So real quick summary with me is I believe that the 2 most powerful forces we have are the thoughts we think and the feelings we feel. I also believe our 2 biggest enemies to getting from where we are to where we want to be are the thoughts we think and the feelings we feel. And so what I do with folks and organizations is I help them harness these 2 amazing powers and get them working together and work through any obstacles, challenges that exist in here to get from where they are to where they want to be. Oftentimes in that, you'll see there'll be a physical byproduct, relational byproduct, work byproduct. Sometimes people will come with a specific focus. They want to work on the relationship. They want to work on their business. They want to work on how they lead their teams. But it always starts with here and channeling these things in to work together. Good question. All right, everybody, I got to jump off. I'm a little late for my call, and I hate being late. So questions about this, post them in the comments. Send me a message. 2 people. There's 2 spots open for 2 people. This is only for those of you who haven't done this before and are serious about looking at incorporating coaching in your life, finishing out 2018 strong, going into 2019 on fire. I would love to talk with you about how that can help. Sending lots of love to you all, wherever you are, morning, noon, or night. Remember, carpe diem, seize this moment, seize the day, make the most of it. You hold the keys to extraordinary. Use them. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.